Hello everybody and welcome to this unboxing and first impressions video on the new Jabra Elite 75Ts and the long-awaited Sennheiser PXC 550-2s. Now just keep in mind this is simply an unboxing and first impressions video, and you can expect a full review on both of these guys sometime later on. And if you want to pick either of these products up, they'll be linked down below. But without further ado, let's start talking about the Jabra Elite 75Ts, because these guys have made a really good first impression on me. Now, the first thing that I want to address here is the 75T's price. Now, when Jabra first announced the 75Ts at IFA 2019 back in September, they said that these earbuds would be retailing for $200. But thankfully now, Jabra has come out and said that the 75Ts are going to be retailing for $180, which I think is really cool on Jabra's part, because if Jabra wanted to, they could have just kept the price at $200 and then made a fake sale and say that the Elite 75Ts were going to be going for $180 and say, hey, get them all hot and, move a few units. But they decided to just officially change the price down to $180, matching the original 65Ts when they first come out. So for that reason, I think that's pretty cool on Jabra's part. But now let's talk about the earbuds themselves. Jabra has clearly made an effort to make the 75Ts way more user-friendly compared to the 65Ts. Now, first off, this carrying case is slightly smaller than the 65Ts, which is super important for everyday carry truly wireless earbuds. It now charges via a USB-C port, which is great for Android users. But more importantly, this lid is much easier to open this time around. Now, one of my biggest pet peeves about the 65Ts is that their carrying case is much harder to open compared to most other truly wireless earbuds out there. But that's not the case with the 75Ts. This lid opens and closes just as easy as any other pair of truly wireless earbuds, which may not seem like a big deal, but this little minor change here, I really like that. But another major change on the 75Ts is that the earbuds themselves now magnetically align themselves to their case, which is a big deal because now you're not going to have that much of a risk of dropping your earbuds when you're taking them in and out of their case, like with the 65Ts, because those earbuds don't magnetically align themselves to their case. Now, again, this is probably a very small change, but it's one of those small things that you really miss when you don't have it anymore. So I'm glad to see this here. Now, when it comes to the earbuds themselves, the 75Ts are noticeably smaller than the 65Ts, which is a pretty big deal. And they also fit pretty well. Now, just keep in mind, these are in-ear earbuds, and they do go a little bit deeper into your ear canal than, let's say, AirPods Pro, but they don't go in as deep, nearly as much as the Sony WF-1000XM3s. Now, from a performance standpoint, these earbuds have an adjustable EQ, and they sound way better than Echo Buds because they actually have mid. So we're starting strong. And these earbuds also have an ambient mode, and unlike the ambient mode on the Echo Buds, there isn't any constant hissing in the background, which is good. But before I actually sign off on the ambient mode on these earbuds, I am going to have to see how they perform outdoors and see how good of a job they do rejecting wind noise. But overall, first impressions wise, I'm a fan of the 75Ts, mainly because Jabra clearly went and just improved the build quality and design on these earbuds to make them way more user-friendly. The carrying case is small, the earbuds align themselves to the case, and that right there is a huge deal. So overall, the Jabra Elite 75Ts have made a really good first impression on me, whereas the Sennheiser PXC 550-2s have not. Now, the first thing I do want to address here is their carrying case, because just like the Sennheiser Momentum 3s, the carrying case that comes included with the PXC 550-2s is just pretty flimsy compared to the rest of the competition. But now let's talk about the headphones themselves, because personally, I think these headphones feel very cheap compared to a lot of other headphones that I've used recently. To me, the plastic on this yoke just looks and feels like plastic I would expect to see on a pair of sub $200 headphones. Now, when it comes to the leatherette on these headphones, again, it feels very synthetic, and I would actually say that this leatherette used on the PXC 550-2s feels maybe worse than the Sony 1000 XM3s, which is saying a lot because I'm not the biggest fan of the leatherette on the Sonys. But something that I will admit is that these headphones are super lightweight and are also very comfortable to wear. Now, I think the Bose QC35s are still a little more comfortable because they have less clamping force. But I do think these headphones are more comfortable than the Sony 1000 XM3s, just because their ear cups are more spacious, and they're also more comfortable than the Bose NC700s because they have less clamping force. But when it comes to the performance on the PXE 552s, first impressions wise, I'm a little taken back. Now, sound quality wise, out of the box, these headphones have a neutral sound signature, but they have an adjustable EQ, and you can actually make the bass on these headphones resonate similarly to the Momentum 3s. But these, first impressions wise, these headphones don't sound as good as the Momentum 3s, which, is to be expected. But something that really has me taken back is that from what I can tell, these headphones don't actually have an ambient mode. And the preliminary test with the active noise cancellation on these headphones, it's pretty average at best, but I do have to do a full-on ANC test with these headphones, so definitely don't quote me on that. But the cabin pressure on these headphones is actually very minimal, so that's good. So at the end of the day, I'm going to reserve judgment on the ANC performance on these until I can do an actual test. But I'm a little taken back that there is no ambient mode on these headphones. But something that's really taken me back on the PXE 552s is that they're still charging via a micro USB port instead of a USB-C port like on the Momentum 3s, which came out alongside these headphones. So besides their great comfort, the PXE 552s are going to have to work pretty hard to win me over, because personally, first impressions wise, I'm not the biggest fan of this build quality. Their carrying case has me a little let down. Not having an ambient mode is a pretty big deal for me, especially in 2019 and 2020, because even Beats now have an ambient mode, which is a pretty big deal. And I think that the lack of USB-C on these headphones is just dumbfounded. So right now, first impressions on the PXE 552s, very lukewarm. I'm very with these guys right now. So overall, I think we're just going to leave it at that. The Jabra Elite 75Ts have made a great first impression on me, whereas the Sennheiser PXE 552s have made a very first impression on me. I don't know, I'm just not the biggest fan of their build quality, and to me, they kind of feel a little outdated already. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit that like button and get subscribed. It helps out more than you realize. If you want to pick another products up mentioned in this video, those will be linked in the description down below, and you can also support the channel by checking out the merch store. But other than that, I'll catch you next time.